Okay, so Kim, take me back to the end of 2024. What were the series of trigger moments that led to you kickstarting your journey with us here at RNT?
I think the big trigger moment for me was I had avoided the scale for a long time. And I finally, in October, I got on a scale and I realized that I was inching very closely towards a 200-pound mark. And in my life, my 44 years of living, I've never been 200 pounds. So that for me was very daunting and scary. I think you get into a mindset of like, I've lived my entire life unhealthy. So, like almost identifying with, people would tell me all the time, you're not overweight, you're muscle, or, you're not overweight, you're just big boned or thick skinned. And, there were all these things. But when I actually saw that I was getting close to that 200 mark, that scared me. I had friends that were going on Ozempic at that point. They were going on just different weight loss medications. I had been through every diet that there was out there. Like the last 25 years, I've done everything that's out there, but never really committed to anything or stayed consistent enough. Never really saw enough results to be motivated. But that scale at 191 pounds was a month before I actually saw Manisha at a tennis practice that we were going to. And I hadn't seen her in months. And I just randomly was like, what are you doing? You look great. Like, you look happy. There's a glow about you. Like, what are you up to? And she told me a little bit. She goes, I'll just send you some information. So I went home. She sent me some stuff. And then I scheduled my consultation call with Jordan from RNT Fitness just to check it out and see. I didn't even know at that point that I was super serious about it. But I did the call with him, and it was funny on the call because I had a aha moment where he asked me some questions that I just couldn't answer. Honestly, he was like, what do you see yourself as if, you're happy, to be in a healthy standpoint, what does that look for you? I couldn't answer it. I really didn't know because I've never lived that life. So I feel like that was an aha moment for me. And then from there is when I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. So
rest is history.
Yeah, pretty much.
Talk me through why you chose not to go on weight loss medication back at that time. You said all your friends were on it. Yeah.
So all last summer, the summer of 2024. So my neighbor, we have a swimming pool in our backyard, and I have a neighbor who is a physician. And she prescribes it for a lot of her clients. And I started asking her about it. I was like, is this something that you could do for me? And she was like, absolutely. Yeah. She didn't even ask any questions about my health history. I didn't have blood pressure issues. I didn't have cholesterol issues or anything like that. But she's like, yeah, I can get you on it. But then she started talking to me about, she's like, but I'm going to tell you, she's like, it's not going to give you what you want. She's like, you're looking for a lean build. She's like, you are an athlete. She's like, this is to lose fat, but this is not going to help you build muscle magically. She's like, and the other thing is, you're going to be on it for life, because the minute my clients go off of it, and then she talked to me also, which was really interesting, which I never knew, about how a lot of her patients have built up an anxiety around these weight loss medications, because when they lose so much weight and get to a point to where it's time to start weaning them off of it, there's a lot of anxiety around that. There's a lot of panic around that. And people just don't want to get off of it. They're okay with saying this is going to be my life sentence. I'm going to stay on it, because if I go off of it, I'm going to gain weight. And that to me was scary. I still was thinking about it, but the more I just really thought about it, I was too scared to do it. And just the financial investment in it. I mean, you're talking the rest of your life, taking a shot. I've heard people get sick. I just wasn't willing to do that.
Yeah. What is it in the US at the moment? Is it $1,500 a month?
Yeah. I think hers at the time when I talked to her, it was $1,200 to $1,300 a month, but that was a year ago. So now with all the craze around it, I'm sure it's more.
Yeah. Okay. And you mentioned before that for 25 years, this has been an issue. So is this stemming back to your teens, or are we talking early 20s? How, I don't know if that was just a throwaway sort of time horizon? Are we talking
Sure.
literally back to your teens? Yeah.
I have battled my weight since probably the beginning of high school.
Oh, wow.
I would say 8th into 9th grade, 13, 14 years old is when I started battling my weight. And I can tell you that I grew up in a family that did not have healthy eating habits. So, I was not raised on fruits and vegetables and, all of those things and water intake. Like it was sodas, it was sugar, it was juice. So, a lot of it, I feel like it's almost like a learned behavior, and it's sad to say, but like, because I was raised that way and didn't know any better, like I raised my children the same way. Like not knowing it until now where I'm at in my life, it's kind of sad to like look back at that and be like, wow, like I wish I would have turned this around like when they were young to make it easier for them as well. So I've battled it my entire life.
And when you were 13, 14, what did you do anything about it? Or did you, is it something you just lived with through those years? Like were you on a dieting cycle from that age as well? Or was it something you were just aware of?
I was aware of it, and I was always the bigger friend.
Okay.
I just kind of always identified as that. And then I would say into my 20s, starting to have children, gaining more weight, not being as active, it just kind of piled on, and it just got further and further away. Like you lose sight of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you got to 191 pounds, why did you stay away from the scale for so long?
I think because there was a time in my 30s where I got active. I was doing boot camp, boot camp a couple times a week. I had run a half marathon. And at that point, I was probably 185 pounds when I ran that half marathon. I ran the half marathon, but I completed it. So I had some level of activity there. But knowing that like the past 5 years, I've not been active. I've not done anything to build my health and fitness. And then the eating habits on top of it. I mean, if you put up a poster child of the worst eater, I mean, that was me. I was that girl.
Yeah. So was it a case that you didn't care, or you just sort of blocked it out? Like, what was that sort of dialogue internally?
I think I blocked it out. Yeah. I think, it's terrible to say this. You have a husband that loves you no matter what, and thinks you're beautiful no matter what. You have kids that love you no matter what. So like you almost talk yourself into like this stagnant place that you're at, even though you're not happy with it, it's okay. Like, but you don't know any better. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Go on.
I just feel like looking back, like I didn't realize, like now when I look at myself and look at my daily activities and it's so much more like when I signed up for RNT, I feel like as much as I give a why, and my why was based around, like promoting a healthier lifestyle for my children, which is very true now. But like back when I signed up, I feel like it was to lose weight. It was to look at pictures of myself and like the way I looked. And, like it was those very like low level things. It was all based around my image. Like when I really think about it, but now being where I am and feeling the way I feel, now I look back on that, I'm like, wow, it was so naive. Like I was really ignorant to like the possibilities that I hold. Even my first RNT call with Jordan, like he was like, what's your goal? And I was like, I'd love to be around 165. I haven't been 165 and I couldn't even tell you how long, And for me, but even in that moment, I was putting such limitations on myself.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
I think so I'm not setting myself up for failure because it's something that's achievable. It's something that's at that time wasn't pushing me out of my comfort zone. Like I can do some things and not be all in and still get results and feel like I made the investment into the program worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. You said you had like what you perceive now to be more surface level goals, but what do they represent at a deeper level for you?
Deeper level now, I will
those initial goals you mentioned, lose weight, look good, feel good. what did that represent? Because yes, they might sound self-styled, but
yeah,
they're still giving you
realizing that like I'm worth taking care of, you know, and like being respected for what I am and who I am, like feeling comfortable in myself, you know.
Is that something that sort of eluded you for a long time?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that kind of hit when you saw that number?
Yes. It was like, this is not okay. This is not the way to live life. Like, you know, I'd sit on the couch for hours. And just because I'd go play a tennis match, you know, twice or 3 times a week, I would justify myself as I'm athletic, I'm healthy, I'm getting out there, I'm doing something. But then the other 3 or 4 days a week, I mean, I might get 3,000 steps, 4,000 steps. So like, you know, really what was I doing? I mean, looking back, like I never would have considered to call myself like a lazy person. Like I used to even say that, like my husband and I say it all the time, like the worst thing somebody could call me is lazy. But like where I'm at now versus where I was a year ago, like I was a lazy person. Like I didn't take care of myself. I didn't show myself enough respect to like care for my body and like allow that to outpour into other outlets.
Amazing. So shifting gears, you've made the decision to invest in yourself, go all in on the journey. What did that first couple of weeks look like?
So the first couple weeks, I will say the first phase, because it was so, I mean, it was black and white, right? Like you did this every single day. So the nutrition part for me, it was a sigh of relief. And honestly, I was eating over 1,800 calories when I started, which felt like more food than I was eating before I started. It was just much better choices of food, right? So I didn't feel hungry. I didn't feel like, but I totally felt like I was missing out. I had to start eating dinner separately from the family because I'd be sitting there angry, like, you know, with resentment, like, oh, like you're eating pizza. I'm eating my grilled chicken and broccoli like I do every night, you know, and, you know, like not taking it out on them, but like feeling like this isn't fair. Like that was the first few weeks. That was a struggle.
Yeah. Did you have the support of everyone in the house? Was everyone supportive of your journey?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what was the dialogue? Did they want to get involved?
Amazing.
Did they want to get involved with it? Or was it more like, all right, I'm doing this. Just please support me.
Yeah, I was in a silo. Like it was just me doing it. I will say I was the most unhealthy person in my house.
Okay.
To start. So there is that disclosure. Like my husband has always eaten a little healthier than I. Even my kids tend to eat healthier than me. Like I was a anti-water, anti-yogurt, anti-fruit, anti-veggies. If it wasn't fried, I didn't eat it. Smothered in ranch.
So what was the typical days? I've got to know now. What was the typical days eating then before?
Oh, Lord. Okay, this is embarrassing.
Go on.
So mornings for me, I would have a bagel or toast or cream cheese with 2 or 3 eggs, 4 or 5 pieces of regular fatty bacon, like nice and greased up, you know, a couple slices of cheese, you know, or I'd have sugary cereal, like whatever in that moment, sometimes both. Like I was terrible.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then chips were my downfall. I could eat 2 bags of chips a day. And I mean, big bags for a family, like,
yeah.
You know, a bag or 2 of chips a day, dips, the hell of a good dips, the ranches, like all that stuff. Lunch was usually Chick-fil-A, Five Guys, Chipotle, like I would eat out 2 times a day.
Really? Okay.
I would eat out for lunch, come home, have snacks, and then I'd go to a tennis match and get dinner on the way home or go out to eat for dinner. And as my husband and I, like, so we have 6 children.
Wow.
We have 6 children. We have blended family, 3 and 3. We have 6 children. Our children age from 17 to 26. So when they're not here and it's just my husband and I, when they're at college and off with friends and doing things, I just didn't cook because I was like, I'm not cooking for two people. This is stupid. Like, we're eating out. So, we would eat out sometimes 5-6 times a week for dinner.
Just for convenience factor?
Convenience. Probably I was lazy. If we're being real. And then just me being able to have whatever fatty foods I wanted to have.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So there's, and when you started cleaning the palate, you felt like that was more food almost.
Yeah, I did. Absolutely. Yeah. And just the stress of not having to think about it, it's laid out. I did have to play with the times a little bit when I first started, which was probably my first real learning curve and everything, was just figuring out what worked for me. I figured out really quick with hydration, I prefer water a certain way. I prefer to drink water out of clear cups, which is weird. I don't know why, but for me, it looks more refreshing. I prefer small cups versus large cups because I like that feeling of refilling my water cup and feeling like, oh, I just killed that water. Let's go get another one. It's motivation for me. So learning those things, you would never think about. And then the food side of it, I used to eat right when I'd get up in the morning, have a cup of coffee and have my food right away. And then I'd be hungry 2 hours later. So having my coffee and then waiting a little bit longer to have my first meal. And I found pushing my lunch back because my breakfast, in the beginning was huge. I was having 7 eggs every morning. I thought I was going to turn into an egg at one point. So I'd have eggs and avocado every morning and it would hold me over for so long that I would, it's like, okay, I can push my lunch back a little bit further, which then would allow me to push my snack back a little further. And then I, used to eat very late at night, 8-9 o'clock at night. Now I really I get to 5:36. I'm like, I need dinner now. I don't like to go to bed, eat and go to bed right away. So working with those things was probably my biggest first learning curve.
Yeah. And how did you get over going from not cooking or just putting stuff, getting very easy to eat foods to, putting a bit more attention on cooking, meal preparation, etc.?
So when I committed to doing the program, I just made Sundays my day. Okay. Sunday was my day and I would bulk cook. So I would make up my meals for the next 5 to 6 days, freeze a couple of them, put the other ones in the fridge, measure everything out, but I would bulk cook. And then from there, now I'll do more batch cooking and then, plate it later, but it took some mastering to get there. And I had to learn how to make good chicken. At first it was terrible. It was cardboard. Now I make my air fryer chicken with my dry rubs and I'm like, this is better than any restaurant.
Yeah.
I go out to eat for chicken and I'm like, my chicken's better.
Yeah, I love it. That's always a good feeling when you eat out and your food's better. It makes it more appealing to eat at home. What was your family's reaction when you told them that you're going to do something like RNT?
So my husband he didn't admit this up front, but he does now because now he's seen me actually, I've done it. I've smashed it. So in the beginning, he was very supportive, very positive, always uplifting, my cheerleader. He would do workouts with me. He didn't eat with me. The kids didn't eat my food. Yeah. They didn't eat my food. They do now, by the way.
Oh, really? They've changed a lot of their habits as well, right?
Oh, and my husband, every Sunday, he's like, you're making my meal preps too, right? His are a little different. I'm like, okay, now I'm not only making my meal preps, I'm making your meal preps, but it feels good, to be able to give that to him too. So, but I feel like in the beginning, he was like, I can't believe you're paying to do this because I've done so many things in the past that I failed at. I've done so many things that I've let drop, that I've quit, that I've done and seen a little bit of results and then stop. I feel like it's so easy to see a little improvement sometimes and you start feeling a little bit better about yourself. And it goes back to those limitations. You're like, I'm good. I've lost 4 pounds. my pants are fitting not quite as tight. I'm good. And then you fall back into those same old habits. Like, and it's just a vicious cycle.
And why was this time different, or been different so far?
I think one of the big things for me was, which scared the living crap out of me when I signed up, was the commitment of the 12 months. I was like, ooh, what did I just do? Like, I hung up, I was like, what did I do? Like, oh man, like that's a long time. You know, like all of those self-doubts were already creeping in. All of the negative noise in my head of, oh, you've been here. Like you actually, Kim, you know what to do. You just don't do it, which is not true. I didn't know what to do. I had no idea. But like all of that self-doubt comes creeping in as I signed up for 12 months. But I think committing to 12 months up front, it was like, you know what? It's only 12 months. Yeah, I've been living this unhealthy way my entire life. I have felt like crap for over 20 years. Like, I just, for once, want to feel good about myself. Like, is it worth a year? And I wouldn't even say I had momentum going into it. You know, I needed that coaching. I needed that one-on-one. I needed somebody in my corner, like with an outside perspective. There are times where Coach Abby would, you know, I would be doing good and I'd be feeling myself and he'd be like, that's great, but we got a lot of work to do. And he'd be like, on a minute. I'm like, wait, no, I want to celebrate this. But I needed that because that would be me falling into my old habit. So like looking back at like the coaching relationship, and then there have been, I mean, countless times of him picking me up. Like when I'm like, this sucks, like I can't do this. And him bringing me back to, you know, what's important and, you know, to stay the course. So like, I think the coaching is immeasurable.
When you say you felt so bad for so long, now that you know, when you're in that state, you don't really know what good is, what bad is. It just is, right? Now that you're starting to get a glimpse of what good is, what was bad?
I think I was living a life of, I wasn't creating anything new. I had no challenges. You know, I was living day to day in almost, you know, I have great friends, I have great family, but like a Groundhog Day of just the same stuff every day. And I just feel like where I'm at now, like life has so much more to offer. I mean, just creating memories, like my runs, you know, seeing things I would have never seen, feeling things I've never seen, meeting people I would have never felt, having more energy to do projects, being better in my job, being more present in all my relationships. The big thing for me has been really in prioritizing my health and fitness. I've learned, I've always been a pleaser. You know, I've always been a person to say yes to everything and then completely overwhelmed with my life and with my schedule. A lot of times not being able to keep commitments because, you know, it's just always wanting to do for others. And I feel like putting myself as a priority in this program and being an RNT has really opened my eyes to like the time I was spending doing things I really didn't want to do. Yes, I'm spending more time working out. I'm spending more time running. I'm spending more time on my nutrition, but I'm also spending a lot more time doing the things I want to do. And I can't say enough about that.
What were you doing that you think, how's I putting up with that for years and years?
Ugh, it was awful. I mean, this is pretty bad, but I can remember, so I work from home quite a bit. I go into the office once a week, but I can remember like things needing to be done around the house. You know, we have a big house, a big outside area, a big yard, you know, it's a lot of work. And I can remember like spending hours just sitting, just watching TV, not doing anything, eating, sitting, not moving.
During the workday?
During the day, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like not working, like not doing the things that I needed to do. And then it's like right before my husband would come home from work, I'd be like scrambling, like, oh, I got to get this done. I got to get this done. And I'm like rushing to do things, but just, you know, living a life of procrastination, you know, no organization, no willpower, no goals. I just feel like where I'm at now, I want challenges, I want to challenge myself. Like, when Coach Abby asked me to come on the podcast, I was like, yeah, there's no way. That's not in my wheelhouse. But I was like, you know what? I'm all about challenging myself. Let's do it.
I love it. Well, it's been great so far. And one of the reasons why we're speaking today, so it's the start of August, then you've got your photo shoot at the start of September, which is, I guess a form of challenge. Talk us through the journey. So you've talked about the beginning. Talk us through sort of like the last couple of months of what it's been like to go from, all right, I'm getting some momentum here, I'm starting to learn the process, to like, you know what, I'm actually going to challenge myself to do something like a photo shoot. What's been that process? What's that look like for you?
So I think for me, the last couple of months have definitely been like where like my identity has truly began to shift. I'd say the first 4 or 5, even 6 months, it was kind of going through the emotions, doing what I knew I needed to do. And I really did stay consistent through the program. I didn't fall off a lot. I continued to see the scale go down. But I will say for me, the shift has been my mentality. In the beginning, it was always, I can't have that. I'm not allowed to have that. I can't go there to eat. I can't have this. And now it's like, I don't want that. It's like a mind shift. And I don't know where it happened, to be honest. Like, there's not like a time where it was like, I stopped putting food on such, a high level and started looking at food for truly what it was, which is fuel for the other things I want to do in my life. I tell people all the time now, like, I feel like I started saying, my body is under construction. My body is under construction. Like, I'm constructing my body. And now I feel like my life is under construction because now it's not about my body as much as it is my mentality. Like, I find myself thinking about things when I run and I'm like, that's crazy. I would have thought this 5 months ago. And now I'm thinking in such a positive light. I've learned to become my number one cheerleader. I can give myself pep talks like the best. I've had to do it along the way. I wouldn't say that it was easy. I mean, I've had many workouts. I didn't do weights before this program, so that was very new to me. And all of my weights that I'm currently doing are in my basement, and it's free weights. So I don't have machines or anything like that. There's nothing fancy. But that was something I did not enjoy in the beginning. And now if I go 2 days without lifting weights, I'm like, oh, I just want to I'll grab a chair and start doing tricep presses just for the fun of it. I'm like, who am I? So I think just enjoying it, embracing it for what it is. It's not, we have to do anything. It's that you want to do something. And I'm blessed enough to be able to do it. So
talk about your relationship with your children. You got 6 children.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And you mentioned earlier on that you picked up habits as a kid from your parents around food, and then you unknowingly passed them on to your children. And a lot of this happens without realizing. You don't know what's right. You don't know what's wrong. It's just a lack of understanding and education. So it happens in many scenarios. But now you're saying, you often send pictures of your weight training with your son, or you're going out for activities. So there's been a bit of a journey there. Can you talk through that journey of what it's been like to firstly inherit those habits, and then you pass them on by default, and now you're actively trying to transform them, even though the kids are in their teens?
So eating out was obviously a huge thing for us. But when we would go out to eat, a big thing was always, you get appetizers. You got to have appetizers, and not just one. You have to have a couple of options before the meal comes. Then the meal comes, and then you overindulge there, and then you have desserts, and you have sodas or, alcohol, all of those things. So I just feel like I thought even the things I was making at home, they were unhealthy, but they were easy. So I feel like it was just second nature to like make the same things that I grew up eating, and fatty foods and French fries and fried foods and all of those things. It's just what I don't even know that. I didn't even realize that I put that onto my children until I've gone through this program and I've seen things from a different light. So you don't know until you're doing it. But, I have children that, they've struggled with their eating habits, and some of them are healthier eaters, some of them are not. But like now everybody is on board. Like we keep healthy food in the house. They love it. I mean, sometimes they take it and I'm like, where did this go? Like, because they're all eating the same things that I am. It wasn't hard to have them kind of progress into it, but I think too, they see how different I am, and not from a physical standpoint, of a happiness standpoint, of a more energy, of I'm more active. I'm more involved with them. Like the fact my kids are now using the gym just as much as we are. Yesterday, they came home late because they went for a run on the trail. Like those things as a parent make you feel so good when you're like, they're doing these things because they've seen what I've done with my life in the last 8 months of RNT.
Amazing.
That's huge.
Yeah. Amazing. And from a time management perspective, I'm about to have a second child, and so I'm just trying to think how would 6 work, from like just organizing everything and also giving time for yourself. That's a new thing for you, right? It's like you've now carved this time for yourself. Where have you found that time?
Well, I've been very fortunate because now that the kids are older,
of course.
They're 17 to 26. So
okay, so some of them are out of the house.
Some of them are out of the house.
Yeah,
like
fine.
we only have like this fall, we only have one left in the house. The other ones are
fine.
all like college or living on their own. So I'm in like a different stage from that standpoint. I don't know. I would like to think that I could still have done this when they were young.
Yeah.
But it would have gone back to what I said, like prioritizing the things you want to do versus the things you don't want to do. It's possible at any stage in life. I just happen to be in a stage where the kids aren't as present as when they're toddlers.
Yeah, for sure. Regardless, that's a lot to. That'll be a different sort of setup. But let's shift gears now to your photo shoot. How are you feeling about your photo shoot? What's the final 4 weeks? Where are you putting your attention, your focus? Yeah, talk me through it.
So I have a lot of focus right now on my marathon training. My miles are slowly increasing. So my short runs are now 6 to 9 miles during the week, which it's crazy to think that I'm now in a position where I'm like, oh, I only got to run 7 miles today. Like, that's great. I ran my first 12-mile run this past Sunday. Felt great.
Nice.
I have my first half marathon this upcoming Sunday. So a lot of focus has been going into that with the 3 runs a week. And then I do 3 strength trainings a week. I love the strength training. And I think that has done so much for me with my running. I run the half marathon when I was younger, and I will say I didn't strength train. I feel great. Like I feel strong. My legs are strong. Like I run and I look down at my legs and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at that definition in my leg. But where did that come from? I've never had anything like that. So just the weight training, the strength training, I'm still on, lower calories because I'm still trying to get to that last checkpoint. I'm like 1.5 pounds from it. Feels like it's taking forever, but it's not. So just trying to really stick to the plan, just stay on course, not sway off, and get it done.
So what date's the photo shoot?
August 23rd, which is my 45th birthday.
Amazing. So 23rd is the shoot, and the marathon is?
October 26th.
Okay, so it's great focus period for that. So you're going to transition nicely into a marathon block.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, the miles are going to go up and up and up, right?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to need a little bit more food, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, it'd be it's probably the best timing, I'd say. It's like you probably wouldn't want to have the shoot any closer to the marathon, otherwise it'd be too conflicting. What sort of speeds are you running? The different days of running at?
So my short runs, anything up to about 8-9 miles, I'm under 10 minutes. I'm usually around a 9:20 to 9:40 pace.
Yeah.
The 12 miles I ran on Sunday, I did an overall pace of 10:32.
Okay. Nice.
So a little bit over 10-minute mile.
And what are you going for with the marathon?
I started off so Coach Abby talked to me about a performance goal months ago, right? And he's like, we got to come up with a performance goal for you. You need something to work towards. And we looked at things tennis related. And I was like, maybe I'll try running again. And when I started RNT, I'm telling you, I couldn't run a half mile without stopping. So I've come a long way. But I was talking about, at first I was like, I'm going to do a half marathon. And it was kind of, again, me putting that limitation on myself. I know I've done a half marathon and nowhere in the shape that I am currently. And I was like, I had a friend that was like, I'm running the Marine Corps full marathon. And I was like, I was like, you want to run it together? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. Now, mind you, we haven't run together at all. And apparently I run way too fast for her. So she's like, we'll be there the same day, but we're not running it together. So I signed up for the full marathon. I was like, you know what? Let me challenge myself. Let me do something that I am in the best shape that I've ever been in my life. Like, let me do something that's like pushing me further than, my comfort zone. So that's what I'm doing. And I started it thinking I just want to finish, but now I'm starting to have those thoughts of, you know what? I think I can have other goals inside that marathon.
Yeah. You stop putting, should I go under 4 hours?
Yeah, exactly. You start like,
Yeah. Amazing. So 3 weeks to the shoot and then another 8 weeks till the marathon. Very exciting times.
Yeah.
How much weight are you down now in total so far?
49 pounds.
Amazing.
Almost 50.
Is that 50 is the goal? 50 and a half.
No, well, 135. So when I started when I signed up for RNT, it was 191. And my first day of starting the program, I was 187 pounds. And today I'm 136. So actually I'm 51 pounds.
Yeah, amazing. That's life-changing. So on that topic, how's the physical been the vehicle for you so far?
It's amazing. I mean, it's just like every day is a good day for me. Right now, being where I am in the training and getting ready for the photo shoot, I will say I'm tired at night. After about 8:00 at night, I'm like, don't talk to me. I just don't want to talk. I just want to just sit here and exist because I'm tired. I'm trying to push for, more steps. I'm trying to hit 15,000 steps a day. I'm trying to stick to the plan. My body has just changed all aspects of my life. And just the biggest one being there's nothing, there's no more setting expectations for myself with limits. I don't want the limitations put on me. I want to feel like if I can commit to something, and challenge myself. And I think another big thing has been, it's allowed me to grow in just so many areas, like my learning. I read every morning now. I'm reading books. I never read books unless I was at the beach, and I'm reading self-help books. I'm reading things to improve my relationships. These are all things that came from me wanting to lose weight, but looking back, losing weight was a bonus to all the other feelings that I'm having. Truly.
Amazing. It's, it always surprises people where the benefits come from as well. You probably didn't sit there thinking, I'm going to be reading books in 8 months. It just, one day you just probably think, I'm curious about that topic. Let me dive in.
Yeah. Well, and with the curriculum with RNT, it's nice because I learned through that. But I used to joke, and I've said this on a coaching call before. I was like, I feel like RNT Fitness has a bug in our house because I'll be talking about I struggled a lot with the social issues of people not being nice to me through my weight loss journey and telling me I'm too skinny and all those things that we go through. I really struggled with that. And then it was a week later, it's there's the curriculum talking about what I needed. And then there were ones on bathroom. There it is talking about what I needed. And then it's always like the right thing at the right time for me. And I'm like, are they tailoring these to me specifically? Because I'm going through it.
Yeah, nice. Now, how have you dealt with the comments? Because that's an unfortunate side effect of 50 pounds down, especially if you've been the big person all your life, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, I was the bigger person, but like always carried myself well, like tried to hide my weight. So like, people even say today, like people that support me today say, even my husband, he's like, I never look back and like think you were overweight. And then I show him like a video of one of my first workouts I did with RNT, and I'm like, I wasn't overweight. Look at this. And he's like, well, yeah, when I look at now, but I didn't think that at the time. But I had a lot of people very close to me. I recently, in the last month, had one. And I mean, I left the dinner in tears. It was a dinner out, and I was upset with my husband because I was like, you should have stuck up for me. And he didn't hear the comments that were being made. But, I had somebody look me straight in the face and say, we just prefer you the way you used to be. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And they said, we just all think you looked better before you did this. And like, for me, it was like harder because in other times when people are like, oh, you're too skinny, you need to put on some weight, you need to eat a cheeseburger. Like I could be like, yeah, that's not what I want. That's not my goal. Like I'm doing what I want. But like, because it was like a personal attack on how I look, I don't know, it hit different. It hit different.
Well, what did you say back to them?
You don't want to know what I said back because I was angry. I said, you're just used to people being overweight around you. I said, you're just used to unhealthy people and overweight people. Like, you're just not used to seeing me this way. And then after I said it, I felt bad. And then I was like, what I'm saying is you're just not used to people like focusing on their health and their fitness. Like that's what I'm doing. I'm healthy. I'm happy. Like, and these are people again that we always talk about, like, I wouldn't take fitness advice from, I wouldn't take health advice from, but it still hurts.
What do they say about that?
Nothing.
Nothing
really.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good answer. I mean, it's probably what most people are thinking. So you were just brave enough to say it, which is...
Yeah, I think it's just like, and it was months of this, they'd be like, oh, you want to go out to eat? Sure, let's go out to eat. Well, where can you eat? You're like, you can't even eat food. Where do you want to go to eat? And it's like, I can go anywhere to eat. Like, I can find food.
You still chat to those guys?
What's that?
You still talk to those guys?
I do.
Okay.
Family.
Oh, right. That's the worst.
Drop them. You can't drop them.
Yeah, that's the worst. Yeah. So families, it's a tough one because they probably have this image of you, and they, for whatever reason, they can't seem to shake it. What's your own relationship with your identity? Like when you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you see now?
I am so happy with myself. This is the first time in my life I've ever looked at myself and was like, wow, like, you look great. Like being able to look in a mirror and tell myself that for the first time in almost 45 years, like that almost makes me emotional.
Yeah, that's incredible. And you see,
I smack my belly and I'm like, it's not there anymore. Like it's hard.
And you see,
look at my arms.
Go on.
I look at my arms. I'm like, okay, like, oh.
And you see the new Kim?
I do. I see her and I love her.
Yeah, amazing. It's full identity shift. Upgrade.
Yep. And we're not stopping. Keep going. Never ends.
What would you say to someone who's starting their journey now, or in a position where you were maybe 8-10 months ago? I
would say start, and I would say lean in to all of it. Lean in to the fellow RNTers and the chat groups. They're so supportive. Lean into your coach. Be open. Be honest. The more vulnerable you are in the beginning, I feel like the more you get out of it and the more you learn about yourself. And also, like, just educate yourself. Like, I find myself all the time. There's not a day that goes by I'm not Googling or checking AI for something regarding nutrition or exercise. Like, I'm like, I started this program not knowing anything. Like, I didn't even know what macros meant. I'm not kidding you. Didn't even know. And like, you talked to me about fiber. Why is fiber important? What's good? What's bad? I didn't know any of that. Like, dive into education, because the more knowledge you have and the more you listen to podcasts, you read books, you educate yourself, I just feel like it naturally makes you more of an intentional person. And like, that intention goes so far. So leaning into the coach, educating yourself, and on the days you don't want to do it, treat it like your job. Because that's what I did early on. I would tell myself, like, Coach Abby would say, show up, just show up, whatever that looks like. And it's not just showing up for a workout or showing up for a run. Show up for yourself mentally. Give yourself a pep talk.
It's the common thread when I ask that question, it always comes back to just going all in.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
What almost kept you from starting?
The commitment.
I
would say the time. It was the commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would have jumped into it and not been so afraid if it were like 30 days. But honestly, it probably would have turned. Yeah, it probably would have turned into something like everything else I've done, because I wasn't even tapping into all this good stuff in 30 days. Sometimes you just have to put your head down and do the plan. And then slowly things just start clicking and changing, and you don't even realize it. Like, I just came back from a beach vacation with my family. I didn't have a drop of alcohol. I didn't want alcohol. Like, I haven't had alcohol in months. I don't want it. That's something, if you would have told me in the beginning of this, oh gosh, I would have been like, you're crazy, And even starting the program, I was like, well, I'm just not going to have this for now, so I can have it later. And now I'm like, well, I don't want it later. I don't need it. It's unexplainable.
Yeah, amazing. So 1 month left to your photo shoot, 3 months left to your marathon, and hopefully we'll see you in New York at the start of October then. Yeah, yes. Well, you've committed. You've told me that you're going to come for the weekend, so
I'm coming.
That'll be fantastic. What's next for you? Say in 2026, how do you see your fitness journey evolving once you hit that shoot and marathon milestone? Have you thought ahead of like where you want your lifestyle solution to be?
I think I'm going to be a lifestyler. I want to continue having the lean build and having muscle, and I want to continue with weights and cardio. I enjoy like food tracking, so I'm all about that. So kind of doing the same, maybe with a little bit more variety than what I've had the last 8 months, but staying the course that I'm on, because it's not a bad course.
Yeah. What's the alternative, eh?
Yeah, exactly. We're not doing that.
Amazing. Any final few words for the listeners?
No, I say just show up and do it. It's life-changing, and you can't even imagine the possibilities that await.
Amazing. Thanks so much for sharing your story, Kimberly.
Thank you.
I said Kimberly.
Oh, I'm in trouble.
You're in trouble. Thanks so much, Kim. Really appreciate how honest and raw you've been about telling your story. I think it's going to inspire many, especially ladies listening to this.
Awesome.